If your resolution is falling apart right about now, you're in good company. Did you know that January 17th is National Quitters Day? That day when most New Year's resolutions are most likely to be quietly falling apart. Hi, I'm Dr. Jan Anderson. As a psychologist and an executive coach, here's what I've learned about National Quitters Day. The slip up is not the problem, it's your self-talk. Here's what I mean. See, I'm just too weak. I just can't figure this out. I never follow through. What's wrong with me? See what I mean? Here's the reframe. That self-talk is actually doing you more damage than the slip up. Here's what most people get wrong. We think if we just had the right tools, the right mindset, enough grit, that somehow we'd be able to fix these behaviors we want to change. Overeating, overspending, overtalking, overworking, overreacting. But that belief actually sets you up to fail. Because the real problem is not discipline or willpower, it's not understanding how the change process really works. What I've learned is that lasting change doesn't start with discipline or motivational hype. It starts with learning how to turn off your brain's autopilot just long enough to reevaluate and make a shift. The craving tool is one of the ways that you can interrupt that fast reflexive habit loop that gets going whenever an urge or a craving hits. And it's a deceptively simple tool developed by Dr. Judson Brewer, a neuroscientist and an addiction psychiatrist. And it's based on his research into how habit change actually works. It's an evidence-based approach that works for all kinds of cravings, for food, for scrolling, for snapping at people. And the great thing is that it doesn't rely on force, willpower, or Jedi mind tricks. I'm a believer in the craving tool, not just because it's based on solid research into how our brains work and how habit change works. I've road tested it for myself. That's why I'm comfortable introducing it to my clients, because I know it actually works. But it doesn't work the way in which you expect. When you first start using the craving tool, there's a mental trap that you'll tend to fall into no matter how smart you are. So this is what it is and how you can avoid it. Sometimes when you use the craving tool, you'll find that your craving may just stop. It just poof, goes away. And ironically, that's when the trouble starts because it reinforces a wrong belief. The belief that, oh, anytime I have a craving, I'll just use the craving tool and my craving will stop. And then what happens? When you use the craving tool, that one time that it doesn't instantly shut down the craving every single time, you're going to get seriously sidetracked. You're going to start blaming yourself, maybe. It's like, I must not be doing it right. What am I doing wrong? What's wrong with me? Or you'll start blaming the tool, the stupid tool, it doesn't work. Or most unpleasant for me, you'll start blaming me, the person that gave you the tool, and say, okay, well, obviously she doesn't know what she's talking about. It misses the point and it will keep you seriously stuck. And that's too bad. Because how the change process really works and how a tool like the craving tool really works, it doesn't shut down the craving or overpower that urge. What it does is it teaches you how to relate differently to your urges and your cravings, and it gives you a chance to respond differently. And that's what changes everything. So how does it do that? Well, the craving tool has a way of interrupting your brain's autopilot just long enough for you to have a brief pause, reassess, reevaluate, emotionally regulate a little bit, so that you can freely choose versus reacting blindly. In other words, it puts you back in the driver's seat. And here's the best part. It does that without force, without shaming self-talk, without mind games, without white-knuckling your way through habit change. And it gets even better. You can even use the craving tool when it's too late. You've already screwed up. You can use the tool to go back into the experience and reprogram retrospectively. That's how plastic your brain is when you're not railing at it or freaking out. Your brain puts a premium on body-based information, data. And I mean concrete, tangible input like body sensations, emotions that are rising. Your brain needs that kind of tangible data in order to update your mental software and help you upgrade to better behavior, better habits. So before you get too excited, there's something I need to tell you. This process does take time. Yes, your brain is really smart and really fast, but in order to habit change the way that I'm describing, your brain needs small, repeatable steps in order to form and reinforce those new neural pathways. This is not instant change. This is sustainable change. It's smart, sticky habit change. Even when you can't resist an urge, in the heat of the moment, a craving tool can still help you. And here's how. Let's say you're sitting in front of the TV and you know you're not really hungry, but you just want to eat something for whatever reason. So you pull out Dr. Judd's craving tool, let's say. You go through the whole process, you get to the end of it. The craving is still there. You still want the thing. Here's what you do. You go ahead and eat the thing. Just don't do it on autopilot. This time, you eat it differently. You eat it with awareness, non-judgment, curiosity. You go through the whole process, enjoying it as much as possible, tasting it as much as possible, taking in data points that are going to be very valuable, that your brain needs in order to reprogram and make better choices. So here's my take on National Quitters Day. The good news is we now have these brain-based tools that are exquisitely designed for people who are tired of trying to force themselves into feeling better and performing better. So try it for yourself and let me know how it goes. So the next time you find yourself in the throes of an urge or a craving, maybe that third glass of wine, the sarcastic comment, the doom scrolling at midnight, if you find yourself really tired of white-knuckling your way through those experiences, I would love to talk with you to figure out how we might interrupt your autopilot long enough to make the kind of shift you want and to do it without shame, without self-attack. Here's how to book a no-cost, no-pressure consultation.